Dianic, perhaps you would like to take us first into what you're thinking, Alliance and Five Fears against Palmer, Nagiri, and Cyborg. This is really a tale of two light mains, or well, flex players that have moved on to heavy for this series.
That says something about him. And I mean, hey, Dianic whipped these together for us. Look at those numbers.
She's a numbers person. Alliance versus Five Fears. Dianic, take it away.
Thank you so much. Not only do we have the strongest teams, but also two really big orgs, Alliance and Five Fears, all known over the place. And also names, again, Cyborg with the highest KD over the entirety every single circle or circuit as well right now. And Five Fears with Nagos being the kill leader over every single circuit as well. So here again, two big names, but also two big orgs. It just makes it so much more juicy, Adi.
It does, and not only that, but it's Nagos circumventing what every single pro player is saying by going against the KS23 mesh meta, going for the Winch SA1216. And I will say, if he's able to win this, it says a lot about where this game is right now, and it changes a lot of people's minds. But he has to do that for the game, not only just for his team, but to make a point that this is not just a world dominated by KS23 mesh.
We got a plug has already happened from the side of Five Fears. Alliance isn't all too much more further back, but here again, they don't have the control right now. We know Five Fears is a very aggressive team. They're very good at retakes or even just playing and getting those kills. But the control, this is sometimes where they fall short. That's something that Alliance is really good at. Again, we could be looking at stats all day long, but the real question is it going to be Cyborg or Nagos today on this grand final who's going to be standing out when it comes to kills? Because both of them have been absolute machines.
Oh, yeah. I really have no idea how Alliance is planning on taking this, and I don't think Cyborg does either. He just kind of goes for it. It's a one-to-one trade, but as of the moment, Five Fears, they have just lost both Heavies and Alliance. They're in a good spot to be able to get this, but they're kind of standing a little bit scaredly, and Carney, he's good for the 1v1. The Invis, he's juking Palma, but wait a second. Oh no, Carney doesn't win this. No way, right? He loses that one shot. Somehow, he connects to Chunk and it keeps him alive for the quick melee. The Chunk almost carries that fight. But Five Fears can't hold on forever, and Palma manages to clutch the victory.
There's the first one from the side of Alliance, getting that wipe onto Five Fears, meaning they can now swap it as well because they've been wiped just a few seconds before they were able to use their coin. There's not much time left. It's gonna have to be a little bit of a deep dive here from the side of Five Fears, but this is something that they're really good at. So Alliance, they really need to set them up here for a really good, and again, a bit of a long defense. Because it only takes one successful steal them to get themselves this first money in the first round of this best of 3.
I will say, it's looking like Alliance already won this box. Five Fears, they're making this approach, but I don't know if they're going to even be able to try to get it. Yeah, no, it's just a little bit of a chow to try and at least win the team fight and get another edge up on the next battle. But Carney, once again, putting in the work, putting in a little bit of extra time there. So everybody is on 1 HP. This was the closest fight ever because it ended in a complete draw.
Complete draw. Both teams wipe each other. I mean, just look at this battlegrounds. Coins all over it. C4s on the ground still blinking, which haven't been exploded. My god. Again, shows how equal these two teams are when it comes to fragability, when it comes to play as a team, right? There is no doubt that there is such a little difference in between those two, but they have different strengths. Five Fears is very good on the offense. Alliance is really good at the defense. That will make or break some games, and right now it is Alliance leading the chance with the first cash out being won. But for the Five Fears fans, there is still a lot more for them to win in order to get the crown in this first game, right? See a little bit of a fight going on. Alliance losing Palmer now, being in a man disadvantage. Five Fears just trying to be a little bit quick here, finding even more players, but there's also so much damage not being dealt. Alliance, unfortunately, not being able really to sustain in that fight. It's going to be finding themselves being wiped, and Five Fears, well, they can go open the vault because it's not even opened yet.
Well, there it is. That fight also started to materialize so much faster than I thought it would, just given the fact that they both spawned and then we're just right next to each other. That was kind of surprising, to say the least. I guess that doesn't really happen often, but yeah, again, a somewhat late tap, given the fact they had to have the fight first, and now Alliance spawns again right on top of Five Fears. And this is another vault fight here, unless Five Fears tries to once again circumvent the rules and go for an early plug, but no, it's going to be Nagos diving onto Nigiri. He takes him out immediately. Going to be able to find a red barrel to open up a little bit of a wall, a little bit of a challenge up against Cyborg. Winch not going to connect. The SA-1216 pellets absolutely do, and Nagos, he's good for 2. Pama lasts alive, and that's going to be a 3-piece right there. Five Fears very quickly deal with Alliance.
But at the same time, it's good that they got this wipe so early because the box still needs to be transported a bit of a long way. Of course, it's going to be plugged before they spawn in, but it's not going to be too many seconds. I mean, look at this. 8 seconds that they have to wait in order to get in. It's better to take this wipe now than to just drag on that fight for ages. We saw earlier, Tycho and Random Times, I believe it was, how long the fights were, like 4 minutes long, and then the whole castle just to be over because of a single initiative problem. So better quickly than too late to be sorry.
Yeah, I mean, now these fights are just like so fast that you blink and you miss them. Speaking of which, we see the Alliance run up on, so chat, get ready. This fight could be over quickly, or it could simmer. And, well, it looks like Five Fears are trying to play a little bit further back this time around. I mean, we know what Carney can do with those stalls. Nigiri on the invis, trying to find a decent angle of approach, but unfortunately, you're not going to do much other than move trees into a different corner of the world. Again, this is that Winch playing very, very well with that cash-out manipulation. And for once, Diana, we do get a slow burn fight here. Alliance, they are cooking something.
Don't say that, man. I already have flashbacks considering 4 minutes was the longest we've had. I don't want to see a 4 minutes fight again. But it is a bit of a slow burner, as you said. So we can see now Alliance is setting themselves up for a little bit of a steal. Nobody quite there yet to contest it. Everybody's quite far. Of course, that RPG is going to open up the line of sight, but they got it! They got the conversion. Look at the time on it. It's not too much time left for Five Fears to actually bring this one back. They were just a tiny bit too far away from it. Trees and gone. Nagos on a singularity of an HP. Carnifex now as well on fire as he tries to stay alive in the midst of the chaos. And, I mean, Alliance, they're 3 men up against 2 players from Five Fears. Another one will be eliminated. They're hunting down the players because there's still a bit of time left. But they cannot underestimate the long damage from Nigiri now coming in now as well. And look at this. The time is gone. The kills are falling all to the side of Alliance. And maybe it is just all meant to be.
An absolutely incredible way to start off this series. Alliance just finished it in 2 boxes. A lot of fast fights. Fights ending very quickly for the side of Alliance. Fights ending very quickly for the side of Five Fears. That one fight ending very quickly for both. But I will say, Alliance showed a lot of respect for Five Fears and the way that Five Fears specifically is trying to play. And that is what Alliance has going for them, where they have this understanding of, hey, this team is doing something slightly different. This is why we're playing the way that we're playing, and this is what we'll do differently towards them. And for Five Fears, they have to have that same level of adaptability. Here's that moment. Beep. Unskippable cutscene.
It is beautiful, right? But also, like, in those moments, you do have a perfect time to just talk to your teammates. 20 seconds. What can we do better? What can we change? And it's all about these little moments where they make these decisions right here. But that long fight and playing so far away from the objective, of course, having multiple different angles makes it more difficult for the opponents to see and find you. AK should make the defense easier. When everybody is far away and you have 2 heavies on your team and one singularity of a light who has been now taking his attention far away from the objective, it is a kind of bit of a recipe for disaster. So we can say kind of shot themselves in their own leg there at the end by playing the way they played that defense.
Exactly. It's a game of kiting. It's a game of, well, pushing in directions that only you can push into. And for Palma, he's able to push into anything. Now, Five Fears, they are committing to the bit. Nagos is keeping the winch. Is he keeping the SA-1216? Only time will tell. But, Dianic, I am quite excited, to say the least, given the fact that Alliance, they just look as sharp as ever.
They do. And again, this is what I want to see from them. We know how good this team can be, especially with the players. And it just took them a little bit of time to really find that synergy, to really find the key, what makes them so unique, especially why also Alliance have picked them up. On the other side, 5 is, again, Carnifex. This guy has probably the biggest 5-head out of the entirety of the scene. Nagos, currently kill leader, and there's so much more to be said about the team here again. Both titans of teams. The first fight already happening. Both teams taking a little bit of damage here. Nobody yet losing a teammate, even though Nagos, well, let's say, good. I already saw it coming. That was 1 HP.
Yeah, this is just one of those fights where I don't even think that Alliance knows how it's going to play out. Where 5 Fears tries to chase. Unfortunately for Cyborg, that chase is has a little bit more teeth to it, I think, initially thought. That C4 didn't do quite nearly as much I think 5 Fears was anticipating, but Nagos going down to Nigiri's XP 54 is absolutely brutal for 5 Fears in this approach. Treason, Aura farmed all the way to the back, but 5 Years have done what they set out to do, which is to stagger this plug so they can get the reset. Whether or not that reset's going to be 1 or 2 players, well, that's for this next fight to decide. Pyromine and KS43 ready to go, but I mean, 5 Years did a great job stalling that out. I have no idea how they even caught that vault in the first place. Ooh, on the trash can.
Could be catching somebody off guard, especially me, man. Like, if for some reason, even though it doesn't matter how obvious Mbak makes those mines, I will always run into them. It's just a curse. You know, some players just... Shout out to all my homies out there who can't see the mines. They're brutal. But to go back to this game, again, as you said, they staggered out the match. It took them a very long time. 5 is now completely set back as well. And from the side of this, they can go in with the plug or just move it a bit closer, but I do believe there's going to be another fight over this cash out right before it should be plugged. The 5 is most likely looking here forward to go onto that cash out, play the defense as fast or as good as they can. But of course, it's kind of a staggering it again.
Yeah, I will say we are approaching that time. It is now currently 3 minutes into the first fight.
Oh, God.
Okay, but Palma is bringing this through. The plug could be occurring, but if Palma takes any more damage, she's throwing that away. It's thrown away again.
Oh, he didn't bring it through. It was a wait. Look at it. He's still holding on to it. He doesn't really quite want to commit to it, but there we go. It's already a bit of an execution going on. Trees going to take quite a lot of damage here, same as Cyborg and Nigeria, but both of them are going to fall. Palma, as last man standing in the midst of the fire. Nothing he can really do. 5 phase. Cleaning that one up, but because the gateway is now gone, meaning Treason is gonna have to walk that vault all the way to the cash out, and that means more time. Oh no!
He didn't place his first one, so no. Well, hey, it wasn't 4 minutes, but it was 3.5 minutes. That one. Is that better? Is that worse?
It's again. As long as it's not 4 minutes, I think we should be happy with this. And also, Alliance spawned in before it was even plugged. That means even more time for them to actually get a steal here.
Yeah, it's, I mean, hey, 4 minutes to the first plug is still, this is going to be a long map too. We'll see how it plays out, but 5 Fears is in control, and they've lost control before. Alliance has been good at these retake situations. They've been good at these offensive pushes with that double KS23, and now the question is, do they choose to go from height? Do they choose to manipulate it down below? We'll find out. But Palma almost can't fit through that door. Nagos gets the winch. The RPG drops them both down. A nice glitch barrel as Palma is playing so heads up, and it's a trade 1-to-1. The mesh clutches up for Palma's HP, and it buys just enough time for Nigiri to come in clutch to save his butt. But now it's just Treason versus Palma in the 1v1. Treason loses the first shot. He's down to 6 HP. Palma gets the victory, and Alliance get the first cash out steal. 5 Fears might have enough time for a steal, but wow, what a fight.
Yet again, it's kind of like history is repeating itself. This is exactly what we saw when 5 Fears played against Taiko in the first cycle. It is nothing new. Five Fierce plug the box, they get the first control, and then they lose it. It's being stolen away. It's rinse and repeat. There's a serious lack in their defense. And right there at the end, of course, it was a 1v1. Could have gone either way, but it was very well played by Palmer. And look at the time. There's little to no time left, and need to be able here to clutch this one out in such a short amount of time. But of course, Palmer is gonna make sure that one is not gonna happen. Drops down the cash out all the way down to the bottom floor. Even though there's a steal attempt, there's the first kill as well. It's going to be so difficult to actually convert this one, considering now also that the time is over, done and dusted. The second wipe is there on the board, and the first cash out of the second map goes to Alliance. So they've gotten 3 cash outs back to back, stolen and won. This is very concerning for 5Fizz.
Absolutely. Jerry did the math for us off screen. So if 5Fierce wins the series, they are guaranteed into the major. That's it. But if Alliance wins, then only Alliance can catch up and steal first in Cycle 4. But that means Alliance has to win first, both here and they've got to do a considerable number over 5Fierce in Cycle 4. So for Alliance, they know how much this is needed. And 5Fierce, they could lose this one and be safe, but do they really want to take that risk? Right now, only 1 cash out separates Alliance from first place in that $2,000 prize pool of the day versus 5Fierce. But Dianic, this fight is a little bit more tactical from 5Fierce as they're trying to split Alliance up, but I think it's working a little bit too in their favor as Alliance has read through it almost immediately and understood how to take out Nagos, which reduces into a 2-on-2 situation with now just Carney, and 1 KS-23 shot removes that guy.
Well, let's just say it ended up in a 1v2, and Palmer is him. Palmer's him. He's delivering the kills when it comes to this game. But here again, the vault still needs to be opened and then plugged, and we saw that there's still so many possibilities for fights to go on. The first one on the first cash out took us, what, 3 minutes and something? You said it early on. 5Fizz is already back in the game. I don't think they're gonna make this one an easy transport run for the side of Alliance. I really hope they're gonna be able to interfere here and just gonna make it a little bit more of a tough time for them.
I think
And
Alliance
there we go.
plugs it immediately, but no, wait a second. No.
Yes. Again.
Yeah, they're stalling it intentionally. This is so interesting. I love to see it. Carney, he's trying to find that angle. He sees that dome and reacts before he even sees the player. H+ diffuser is so clean from 5Fierce here, but with Palma at half HP, he's still good for 1. It's a 2-on-2. Nagos, the SA-12, can't do anything from that distance. And Treason, last up for 5Fierce. Now it is going to be a 1-on-1, but I don't know. They're both rezzing. I think this could be Alliance.
This will be Alliance, but also 5Fierce. Look at this. The damage not being put down on the Cyborg is going to put himself in a bit of a risky position, but there's the help coming in from the behind. That's a great team play by Alliance, especially because they now get to kill into trees and can't effects, healing themselves up. But he's now finding Cyborg in a 1v1, very low HP, needs to hunt down this kill and get this plug. But here again, guys, we know how the history is. It's not looking good. Of course, they got the plug, and that's not a discredit. They've had it already 3 times. And every single time, they've lost it. Again, very worrying place for the side of 5Fizz, and especially considering that there's so much time, they could still lose this control.
Exactly. I think 5Fierce needs to lock in and make sure that they understand how far they have to kite, because they know that Alliance is coming in and they're coming in hot. There's no time to waste when it comes down to this. And Alliance, they could choose to place low, but they are not. Look at how they are immediately on top of Nagos. They are immediately, as a unit, moving into position. 5Fierce, they've got no other choice than to move back towards the point, because they know if they kite too far, it's over. In Alliance, they're in that 3D chess mindset. They know that as well. There's a lot of regular chess is 3D chess. I keep saying that. Either way, we got a little bit of motion on the point. Palma is going to be utilizing all of his util to try and bust through and cut through the noise. As that winch lands, it is capitalized on 5Fierce. They are looking like they've got this fight in the bag, Dianic. They're staggering him too.
Oh, that is absolutely insane. Look at the time.
There it is. That's this box set for 5 Fears.
For some reason, I thought for a second the game is over. Sorry, I wanted to say something after that, but my brain just said like, no, you're gonna stop thinking everything you just thought about. But yeah, no, absolutely insane, right? Especially those small things, staggering out, not killing the last player of Alliance, just making sure that she's a bit over the half. So it's gonna be such a pain if they're really gonna go in and deep dive, but there's no time left. Alliance are gonna have to fight for this next box, and already we can see a bit of an improvement from the side of 5A's, playing together, focusing individual players first when it comes to it. That is something that Alliance has been doing against 5A's, and finally they've clocked onto it a tiny bit and they were able to utilize it for themselves. You talked about adapting, and they have adapted.
That is the adaptation, and now comes the fun part, because technically Alliance doesn't need to plug to win. And with how long these fights are taking, it's not even out of the question that we could get Alliance not tap in the vault for 8 minutes. So this is going to be interesting. 5 Fears knows that they're getting ahead of the curve. They are trying to make sure that they get over that vault. But look at the space that Alliance has on this map. Not only from the art house, but also all the way over in workspace, all the way over in the library. They have an angle on 5 Fears. The vault is getting tapped by 5 Fears. Alliance, well, they've found a 1v2 that they're going to be able to take over.
Also a bit of shotgun shots going on. Palmer's going to find the first kill onto Nagos here. Of course, Arbok being very low HP, no, doesn't put themselves in a great position, but look at the fights, look at the damage going through. Yet again, another one falls. Can't affect in a 1v2, left alone, and even he will be wiped by Cyborg. So that means 5 Fears again getting themselves onto a wipe. Alliance will prevail stronger than that. Cyborg already on the move to transport that vault to the next possible cash out. It is a plug for Alliance. It's a good start for them. And I mean, if we look at the cash out control rating, they have been quite successful. Even when it comes to steals, no even plug probability is very higher in plug conversion from Alliance than 5A's. And this is why I have a few worries. Nagos not finding the first opening pick is a great start. We all know what's going to happen. They really want to be now chasing down the other two players, then get on with the steal.
Yeah, this is where Alliance just has that little bit of extra presence. Now, Cyborg will not be able to be rezzed here, which is so interesting to me that they weren't focusing on that. And that just kind of shows me the Alliance, at least, isn't too worried about taking this back. They just know they're going to be able to get the steal. They're going to be able to go for this fight. Because, like you said, it's happened before. 5 Fears, they miss the opportunity to winch it out into the open, and that causes them to kind of be out of position. Look at that. Immediately, without spending anything more than just a single RPG, Nagos and Treason are down to half HP, but they have kited effectively, and this time, not too far. They are in a good spot. Now, there's just enough time for Alliance to be able to go and hold this, but there is still a KS-43 on the side of 5 Fears. It's Treason's, and it does buy a little bit of extra time with that stall. Now Treason, he does find a pick onto Cyborg. Nagiri goes out, and Palma is only half HP, and that is a tempered approach. And 5 Fears in one team fight brings us into a third map.
And this is the difference that a singularity of a map can do. Again, Fangway City very different to the one that we have right now. Sis Horizon, a lot more long range, a lot more rotations possible, a lot more visibility all over the entirety of the place, and that really just made the difference. Again, adapting is very important, and the one thing that we saw from 5 is they knew how to adapt, they knew when to play the cash out, and they cannot underestimate their opponents, and I believe in the first game that's exactly what they did. The second one will go to their favor, meaning, and as you already said it, we're going to be pushed to a third and final map. This one will decide who the champions will be of this cycle, and it's gonna be fought out on Bernal as well. Close range, shotguns, a lot of destruction. It's going to be chaos no matter what.
Chaos in the arena is what we love. This moment right here was just insane to me, where Treason somehow fumbled that, but I will say he absolutely took it back at the end. This was one of those games where I just didn't know who was going to end up with the box each time. I felt like on Bonwai, it was like, okay, Alliance was they were kind of rolling on that one. I couldn't lie to you. But 5 Fears on this, were so explosive, so dangerous, and again, just so well-tempered towards each fight.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. This map was a lot more even, a lot more unknown, especially when it comes to kind of predicting who takes those cash shots, right? It doesn't seem like it is Alliance map pick. They feel like a team who wants closure, who wants small things, who wants small rooms, and more coverability. Because that's what they had on Fang Y, especially with the cash shots they were and really take place of them. And that's what I don't want to see here. I want to see them stay cool, maybe quick little breather, you know, 1, 2, 3, reset completely. But it's tough to keep the nerves out.
Oh, absolutely. It's got to be tough to keep the nerves out. But, I mean, 5 Fears, the fact that they are sticking with that Winchester 1216 tells me that 5 Fears is feeling pretty chill. And for Alliance, I know that Palma and Nigiri are able to kind of quell their nerves. It's Cyborg that, hey, he's still putting out numbers, but does he have the steel nerves and the steel reserve that his teammates do in order to kind of bring this all the way home? Only time will tell. This is the match to find out, as it all comes down to this. So grab your Ospoos and settle in to your Volpe headsets, because this is the time to watch as Alliance runs away with this first vault. Dianic 5 Fears are quick on this approach.
They're very quick. They know what it is at stakes, but they're now also just throwing it away. Of course, to the sides of Alliance. Look at this. Great information coming in from Nigeria as well. Oh, the back flank. The Witch is going to miss, though. But he's going to focus his attention now towards the other two heavies, which are going on in the fight. But unfortunately, Alliance are just going to lose their member step by step. So is 5 Fears. Can't affect Snagos. Very low HP, but Nigeria is the last man standing. Ooh. As I say that, Nigeria has also now been found and removed from the board. The cash out, as already said, a little bit thrown there, and they can just go to 8 plug it. Not that far.
Oh, yeah. It is a pretty crazy day when Nigiri is unable to cut through with those shots. I mean, he was trying to get that angle, but 5 Fears, I think, through that first map, they kind of fell in line with, okay, Alliance is reading us. We have to change up our plays. Throughout the very beginning of Sis Horizon, they kind of noticed how Nigiri was playing with Palma as far as, you know, being on his tether. But this time around, that was like, this is just being completely read through. I did not expect this plug to happen given how slow everything else is happening here. But 5 Fears, they got the high ground, but that doesn't matter much in a KS23 world. It's only time will tell when Alliance just destroys the suspended sponsor structure.
Oh, look at that. So many holes already being created. Also trying to make sure that these opponents fall down the roof, that they don't have that safety net. Alliance, of course, made their way already close towards the opponent team, playing down below. But because of that, Shotgun are able to just create that vertical play, able to go in. Of course, a winch would be fantastic here to make it even easier to steal. They've just found a perfect position here. The dome comes out. Palmer's going to try for an attempt. He's going to have to force the opponents to execute on top of him, but there's just a slight bit of an angle.
Yeah, 5 Fears not letting that happen again. They're not letting that happen again.
They've learned from their previous mistakes, one could say, but there's another steal coming in. And from the looks of it, this one will be successful. Palmer ignored completely the damage, and now 5 Fears, maybe a bit of a panic, dropped down, tried to execute, but they've already found themselves one being removed. Now Nago's back in the game, was rezzed in the meanwhile, and it's back down to a 3v3, but it is Alliance having the control over this cash out.
There's still time, though. I mean, Alliance, they haven't necessarily signed out yet, but no, with that 2-piece, that is it. Unless Palma goes wild here. He takes out Nagos, but Cardi, only one shot. Could this come through for 5 Fears? Potentially, but oh my goodness, Palma did a great job to try. But 5 Fears is going to be able to walk away with this one, even though the steal happened towards Alliance. 5 Fears, they took a page out of the America book and made sure that they were ready with a response.
Well, I'm gonna have to be honest with you, Jerry. It did not look like they were ready, because Nagos did deep dive down, was killed, was resetted. So it wasn't the cleanest, but it was a successful one, and that's the only thing that matters. At the end of the day, it doesn't need to be clean if it's successful. One thing we can say about 5 Fears, again, very good offensive team. They're good when it comes to the attacking side. Alliance, just a bit too late. Let's say a little bit too low on that defense on that cash out. But here again, it is Bernal. Everything can change with the coming cash out boxes as we have rather a slow game now building up yet again. We saw this Horizon. The teams like to make it a quick entry and then be very slow in the future fights because they know how much is destined, how much can actually be decided by those few early fights.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I mean, this is also where 5 Fears, they just need one box, and they're in not only the top 1 for the cycles, they are in the major. That is such an incredible thing to think about, where we could potentially have our first team signed for TGM26. And I think that for Alliance, that puts a lot of pressure on them to win this box.
And for Alliance, it will be...
If they don't, like, it's over for everyone.
Yeah, it's not a great thing. But at the same time, you know, could have argued to maybe bully out 5 Fears early on in the competitions, which other teams have failed to do so. This shows how good 5 Fears are. And again, mentally even preparing to be targeted didn't even work out for any of the other teams. To keep this dream alive for any other team or for Alliance, they're gonna have to be able to get this one, which misses just a few seconds on the ground. But look at that, the first kill is gonna fall to the side of Cyborg. Palmer will be the next. Nigerian are the last man standing in the side of Church. Nothing he can really do there. And 5 Fears quite dominantly, again, very explosive entry into that fight.
Wow, and again, just kind of goes to show that the nerves are real for every single team. And 5 Fears, I mean, they know that they could lose this one, and so they could have been conservative on that approach, but they chose to just go at it. And look at how well it paid off, given the fact that they were able to get their heavies in a position exactly at the right timing. Even with a missed winch, they converted that. Goes to show where 5 Fears is coming from. But now Alliance is on their approach, and Dianic, if Alliance can't do this, 5 Fears is at TGM26. So this box is everything.
Oh yes, it is. It really comes down to this one. Maybe even to just reset the ball, bring it all the way down to a third, but Alliance are going to start a bit of a disadvantage here. One of their mates already been found. The next one already low HP. Palmer taking so much, not able to do anything. Nagos, again, proven his performance. He's already done this once against another opponent team. He'll do it again. The wipe is there, and I mean, there we have it. 5 Fears, our champions for the cycle. Number 3, my god, yet again proven why they're the best team. And Nagos, not only did he once have such a stunning performance for the last team fight, he's done it again. He wants to be in the shine, and he just keeps rising the kill lead.
And Dianic, I gotta say it, congratulations to 5 Fears, your first team in TGM26. With enough points to be able to put them ahead of everybody else, it is mathematically impossible for any team to top them. Jerry, history has been made.
It really has. We signed our first name under the dotted line. That is it. 5 Fears have locked in the first place in this region. They don't even need to compete in Cycle 4 if they want. They can take a day off. I'm sure they'll want to because there's prizes at stake, but that's huge. That's absolutely huge for the region. Alliance falling short at a further hurdle this time around, but a second place finish is not something that they will sniff at. They know that they can do better though. They know that they can be the top team in this region given the opportunity, but this first opportunity has passed them by. So congratulations to 5 Fears again, it has to be said. Look at that though on Alliance's side. They just could not muster up anything resembling a fight on this first.
The corner, nobody can beat them.
That's absolutely true. And now let's take a look at how things shook down today. Just take us back through the journey out Nocta. And this was an exciting set of games. The first cash out, we saw 2 winners in Fake Cows and Random Tongues. And the second cash out, we saw 2 winners. Do you have any thoughts about what happened in the finale, though, as you and Ardy casted our way through it? The big cash out into the best of 3.
The big cash out was a lot of
How things have panned out. We already know that top spot was awarded to 5 Fears. This is just the Cycle 3 standings, so this is a bit of a reflection on how things went today. 3 cycles together. 5 Fears right at the top with 275 points. No way in hell anyone can catch up to them. Alliance, the most